Hi, today I'm going to be giving an overview on the Caledonia Nordic Ski Club. Nordic skiing, also known as cross-country skiing, is a winter endurance sport where participants travel across snow using skis and poles, typically on flat terrain. It includes recreational, developmental, and competitive participation, making it accessible to a wide range of individuals. At the national level, Nordic skiing in Canada is governed by Nordic Canada. This organization is responsible for organizing national competitions, developing athlete pathways, and managing national team programs. More specifically, Nordic Canada sets standards and establishes rules for the sport. They also support athlete development by managing high performance pathways. In terms of competition, they organize national events and oversee rankings and results. They also provide leadership by overseeing national teams and representing Canada internationally. At the provincial level, governance depends on the location of the organization. Since the Caledonia Nordic Ski Club is based in British Columbia, the sport is governed by Nordic BC. At this level, organizations organize provincial competitions, support athlete development programs, and manage ranking and qualification systems. These systems implement national standards and adapt them for provincial use. They support athlete development by identifying and training athletes within the province and organize provincial competitions and manage rankings and qualifications. Additionally, they provide leadership by supporting clubs and coaches and overseeing provincial teams. At the regional level, the sport is delivered by individual clubs such as the Caledonia Nordic Ski Club. These clubs organize local races and events, provide community programs, and create entry-level opportunities for participants. At this level, clubs follow provincial and national guidelines to ensure safe participation. They provide training programs and support skill development for athletes. They also host local races and offer entry-level competitions. Finally, they play an important role in building community engagement and providing coaching and support. Participants engage in Nordic skiing in several ways. Many people participate recreationally by skiing on groomed trails in parks or through backcountry touring for enjoyment and fitness. Participants may also engage through structured programs offered by clubs, including lessons and youth development programs that help build skill over time. There is also competitive participation, where athletes take part in races, loppets, and team-based events at different levels. Nordic skiing can also be used as a fitness and training activity, with participants engaging in endurance training and off-season preparation. From a macroeconomic perspective, Nordic skiing exists within the broader Canadian sport economy, where approximately $15.8 billion is spent annually, representing about 2% of household spending. This type of spending is considered discretionary, meaning it can be influenced by external factors. In terms of participation, Nordic skiing has about 4 million participants in Canada, particularly in regions with strong winter climates. Here we can see Nordic skiing from a PESEL framework perspective. Starting with political factors, the sport relies quite a bit on government funding. This is because it requires ongoing investment in trails and facilities, but doesn't generate large profits like commercial sports, so public support helps keep it accessible. For economic factors, participation depends on cost and access. Even though Nordic skiing is more affordable than downhill skiing, it's still a discretionary expense, so if people have less disposable income, participation can decrease. In terms of social factors, more people are interested in fitness and outdoor activities, which supports participation in Nordic skiing. For technology, improvements in equipment and training can enhance performance. Looking at legal factors, safety and liability regulations shape how programs are run, especially for lessons and organized activities. Environmental factors are very important when it comes to winter-based sports, as this sport depends heavily on snow conditions, so climate change, weather, and shorter winters can directly affect participation. Overall, the sport is fairly stable, with some growth driven by social trends, but it's still limited by environmental and economic factors. At the microeconomic level, Caledonia Nordic Ski Club operates within the regional Nordic skiing and winter recreation market. The club primarily targets families, youth, and both recreational and competitive skiers. This target market allows the club to attract participants at different skill levels and stages, from beginners to more advanced athletes. By serving multiple different groups of people, the organization is able to maintain steady participation and remain competitive within the local market. In terms of competition, Caledonia Nordic Ski Club faces both direct and indirect competitors. Direct competitors include other Nordic ski clubs in the BC region, such as Sovereign Lake Nordic Club and Whistler Olympic Park, which offers similar programs and trail systems. Indirect competitors include downhill ski resorts like Whistler Blackcomb, as well as other winter activities such as snowshoeing and skating. Additionally, indoor fitness options like gyms and other sports such as basketball or soccer act as substitutes, especially during off-season or poor snow conditions. This creates a competitive environment where participants have many alternatives. Here is the 5 forces analysis to further understand competition. Starting with competitors, it would be at a moderate level as there are other Nordic ski clubs in the region, but competition is somewhat limited because these clubs often serve different local communities and focus on participation rather than profit. However, they still compete for the same participants, funding, and volunteers, which creates some level of rivalry. For substitutes, this would be considered high, as people can easily choose other winter activities like downhill skiing, skating, or even indoor options like the gym. These alternatives compete for the same time and discretionary spending. New entrants would be considered low to medium, as starting a club isn't impossible but requires access to land, infrastructure, and community support, which does create some barriers to entry. Supplies would be ranked as moderate, as clubs rely on equipment providers and possibly municipal support for land and trail maintenance. But there are enough options and no single supplier has too much power. Buyers have high power as there are alternatives available and participants can choose where and how they spend their time and money, so organizations need to offer value to retain them. To compete in this environment, Caledonia Nordic Ski Club uses a differentiation strategy. The club differentiates itself through structured programs including youth development and lessons for all skill levels, supported by certified coaching. It also offers a strong community experience through social events, group skiing, and volunteer involvement, which helps build long-term engagement. In addition, the club provides well-maintained groomed trails, which improve safety and overall user experience. Finally, accessibility and inclusivity are key advantages, as Nordic skiing has a lower cost compared to downhill skiing and offers equipment rentals, making it accessible to beginners and a wide range of participants. Overall, these factors allow the club to compete by offering a more inclusive, community-oriented, and cost-effective alternative in the winter sports market. This slide shows the organization's statement of operations, which outlines its revenue and expenses for 2025. The club generated approximately $2.23 million in revenue and had total expenses of about $2.43 million, resulting in a deficit of approximately $197,000. This slide summarizes the key financial figures. In addition to the deficit, the organization has over $2 million in total assets and very low liabilities, indicating strong financial stability. This suggests that while the club experienced a short-term loss, it remains financially healthy. The marketing strategy of Caledonia Nordic Ski Club focuses primarily on communicating value through community engagement and program accessibility. The club emphasizes skill development, structured programs, and an inclusive environment, which aligns well with its target market of families, youth, and recreational skiers. In terms of marketing channels, the organization relies on its website, social media, and local outreach such as schools and community programs, as well as strong word of mouth within the skiing community. Overall, the strategy is effective in maintaining participation and engagement, but there is an opportunity to expand through stronger digital marketing and broader outreach. Based on the analysis, these are 3 key recommendations to improve the organization's performance. First, the club should expand its digital marketing presence by increasing activity on social media and sharing programs, events, and participant experiences. This would help improve awareness and attract new participants beyond the immediate community. Second, the organization should strengthen its differentiation strategy by more clearly communicating its unique value, particularly its strong community environment, structured programs, and accessibility compared to other winter sport options. Third, the club should diversify its revenue streams by expanding fundraising, sponsorships, and program offerings, such as camps or equipment rentals. This would help improve financial stability and reduce reliance on grants and donations. Overall, these recommendations aim to increase participation, improve competitive positioning, and strengthen long-term sustainability. Thank you.